They'll be calling you a radical. Here I'm in historic Ogden, Utah, my home, where in that hospital right there in that room, a Quack D gave me 2 months to live 5 years ago. So my uncle right there, the heart surgeon Thomas Blanch, who saved my life from the grave, as I'll be setting up shop in the Utah State Legislature, because America Ground Zero right here in Utah, America canned. So standing here in Scowcroft's front yard as I'll flip the pyramid in Idaho. A lot to talk about here. Ohio, Idaho, Utah, as they're going in and they're playing this looting madman game from hell. Look, you don't think, oh, NuScale, all NuScale is a piglet, a dead piglet that they've raped. Look, this is a fact now. My friend up in Idaho who exposed me what he calls the Reyes connection that we protest the last several years, Utah caught them in collusion red-handed. They looted and stole out of our Utah subsidy called AMPS, which they're doing in Illinois, which they did in New York, the Cuomo tax. They stole. Wind and solar it's set up for. They stole it. I like how you people say, oh, you know, fossil fuel, blah, blah. What do you think nuclear is? Uranium. Even these, they still take uranium. So in Idaho, there's uranium mine in southern Utah and Moab, the cancer capital of the world, that's been on fire for 70 years. They can't get it out. They cannot get it out. So, look. There's no answer for the waste. Allison McFarland to me in San Diego. Look it up. The San Juan Capistrano sent it off for shutdown hearing as the waste comes here. There's no answer for the waste. They're trying to move it to Texas. Good. Just like Warren Jeffs when he went to Texas when they find out. So this is important. They wrap themselves up in the flag here in Utah. Wrap themselves up in the flag. I got this flag on my elementary school. I'm 7th generation. That Leslie Hodson masterpiece they tore down. A flank-roid right. Brilliant gem they tore down. Went through it, all these people wrapped up in their flag. Johnny got his gun, freaking AK-40, this is the home of John Brownie. He would roll over in his grave, freaking walking over the top of it. And all you heirs to the Brownies, to the Eccles, to the Hinckleys, to all of them, I'm on to all of you. You want to go ahead, you know who I am. My bloodlines are just as historic, maybe more historic than yours. You want to play this game with me? You want to go down this dance? Look, you don't think my army, Million Mass March, Anonymous, freaking... But that is me. I'm the guy who started all those movements in San Diego, full of leukemia. Think what I did full of leukemia the last 5 years. In the top of East 8 LDS bone marrow transplant, given 2 months to live. I'm alive. Look up Marshall Jensen. I want you to look up Marshall Jensen, my room fighting brother with me. I represent all the people they killed, including Mike Lee's father, including Governor Herbert's father, including my father, in the name of the Father. That's what we do here. So in Japan, the so-called volunteer evacuees of the catastrophe at Fukushima, an ongoing nightmare that just keeps on killing the Pacific Ocean, the collapse of the salmon, the collapse of the steelhead, heavy denial. So they've cut off their subsidy. You know, here, we stole your farm, your 1,000-year generation, multi, 20, 30, 40 generational farmer, we stole your place, whatever, here, go die. That's what they do. Mike Lee gets $600,000 in the bank bailout. Pull yourself up by the... We don't talk about that. You know, what corruption here in Utah. It's disgusting. Something rotten in the dude Nedmark. Not me. I'm not playing. So I'll be set up in Utah and in Idaho. So in Idaho, this is important. We'll quote Allison McFarland to me. San Juan Capistrano, the consent hearing. They've had the consent. I'm the only guy representing Idaho and Utah that's been to these consent hearings. They say Idaho's consented to the nuclear waste. Yeah, like a passed out girl next to a dumpster at Stanford, they've consented. They don't know. So the waste that's there is filed illegal. Cecil Andrews, who I was involved with this litigation, this lawsuit. This is important. The lead guy who wants to push that there, the lead legislator's wife was in the bone marrow transplant center with me at LDS. He and I talked all the time. She died. I said, you're still going to vote for it because you gave up your health for someone else's wealth. It's like southern Utah. I'm at the top of LDS, East 8, that incredible place. I'm the only one that come out of there, our group. I mean, it's hardcore fight. Given 2 months to live. Thank you. If it wasn't for Vincent Hansen and my Uncle Thomas, that amazing man who saved all your family's freaking lives, I would be dead. So I'm going to set up in Utah at the legislature. Cancer, he said, get this. So the other activist who turned me into, he's a multiple generation Idaho. He calls it the Reyes connection. He's amazing. Get this. In Idaho, they arrested him, detained him, and threw him in a mental institution and did an evaluation on him for being an activist. Nothing wrong. Of course, they had to let him go. You know, his family got involved, you know, and I'm like, what? He's an older, you know, he's 65 years old, old rancher, old farmer from Idaho. I mean, historic, logicalest guy I've ever met. This is what we're up against. He and I, we're the ones, he and I, that caught them in collusion. You want to build a nuclear reactor on the green? Why don't you put a statue right here of Ted Bundy on I-15, his victims? We don't use it. Look, it's dirty, filthy. There's no answer. This is a dead little piglet. They've already robbed. AMPS was for wind and solar. Wind and solar's already took the field. But in Nevada, you're blocking it selling into the grid. In California, you're blocking. Deseret News, the mouthpiece for the LDS freaking pyramid themselves. The corrupt place. California's producing so much solar, they have nowhere to put it. Nevada and Utah and states across the grid are blocking it. So they're going to the state houses now. They're going to Ohio. They're going, well, we fought it in Illinois tooth and nail. By myself, I'm fighting it. You know, there's a small group in New York now. We call it the Cuomo tax, status Cuomo Bell. It says right in. People signed up. You know, they're taking it through our bills for wind and solar. These rats see cheese, they go in and steal it. It says right on it, no nuclear. We don't want nuclear. We don't got nuclear. It's the most dirty, filthy, failed technology. There's no answer for the waste. Allison McFarland to me, and we have it all videoed and backed up. In the San Juan Capistrano here, she says, look, this is the nuclear rally cheerleader who covered up Fukushima herself. I'm the only one that ever confronted her. Commenter number 19. You can look it up. She says, they have been trying to get an answer for this waste for 70 years. They have no answer for the waste. 10,000 years from now, they still will have no answer for waste. Einstein said in 53 they took it as far. So it's just looting. They just loot through the federal tax, like Price Anderson. Now they're going to the state houses and just stealing. They're stealing out of here. They already looted. NuScale already stole all your money in Utah. They already stole it. I'm the guy that exposed their original funding was a fraud. It was a Ponzi scheme. I'm the guy that exposed. I'm an hedge fund, Clyde Cooley derivative freaking arbitrage guy, #1 school business in the fucking country right there. I taught there, I graduated. I have his last letter of recommendation that he ever wrote back when we were the #1 school business in the country. David Eccles School Business, that's ours. You know, you want to get into that, and the Eccles family, and the Hinckley family, and you all want to go down this path? Go ahead. Go ahead. At your own peril, because I'll expose you war profiteers for who you are. I'm not afraid of you, Masonic. I restored your 1905 Masonic. I'm the guy who hung from a rope and hand chiseled it. Try me, try me. Anonymous, we're onto this. I awoke Anonymous to this looting scam. This is a scam. So the salmon have collapsed in Oregon in a major, major way. So we've been working at Tim and I, Martin, I call it the Blanche Martin Matrix. For the government subsidy, the Mitchell Act, we estimate for every one in their boats right now, they're saying 0.1056 hatchery salmon per boat. So we put a matrix, the government subsidy, $50,000 per fish. So the fishing retail come to your fishing chambers of commerce have captured in Hawaii. We need grassrooters. We need grassrooters on the humpbacks. They never showed up. The derelicts who are the marine biologists and the university professors who are paid to this are derelicts, and they're all going to get sued. They're going to get sued for the cover-up of Fukushima. They're derelict, paid to count numbers on the humpbacks. The humpbacks, scientists are mystified, they're stumped, they're liars. They're derelicts. They're derelicts who felt they were paid to do this. There's a new sheriff in town. That's why the USS Reagan trial is going to break this. I know for a fact that ruling has been delayed to get it away from Barry Antoinette's DOE, who, by the way, Blue Castle on the Green, Lead Dog Hedge Fund. I'm the guy, look, that's me. That's me. I'm the one that exposed that lie. You're arguing over water coming out of the lake. Why don't you argue over Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny? That doesn't even exist, that doesn't even belong to you. That's what you're going to fight over in the Utah legislature? Okay, go ahead. You know, we put this money. Solar rooftop energy has been the greatest success ever, but you block it from coming into the grid. You block from selling back in Nevada. You block from selling back in freaking California. It hit the grid. You know, these corruption through skull and bones, through, you know, Kamala Harris went in and raided PV and Cherry's house on San Onofre. I'm the guy that got San Onofre shut down. Without me, San Onofre never shuts down. I'm the whistleblower there. I'm the guy that exposed the Lead Dog Hedge Fund scam at Blue Castle. Look, this money has been stolen illegal on NuScale. It was a Ponzi scheme. They have to have matching funds. They have to raise their original money first. They didn't do it. It was a Ponzi scheme. And then Obama DO just hands them $123 million. Now another $320 million. They already stole from you. Out of your, look, Utah taxpayers passed this. It got through right here. You know, I look at the governor. You know, the governor, who I'm friends with, Mike Lee's dad of leukemia. Freaking Governor Herbert's dad died of leukemia. My dad died of leukemia. I almost died of leukemia. That's what we do here. I represent all the people this nuclear cartel has killed. It's the dirtiest, filthiest. There's a uranium tailing mine on fire in southern Utah for 70 years. The cancer capital of the world, southern Utah. When I'm in the bone marrow transplant, the lead legislator in Idaho's wife's in there. She died. This Wasatch is 3 million people. 5% of it's southern Utah. Yet the bone marrow transplant makes up 60, 70% from southern Utah. Nancy was in there with me, the #1 triathlete in the world. Look up Marshall Jensen. I'm doing this in the name of him, fighting for him. He gave his life so others could live. He was in the room next to me. that young, beautiful man. You know, I was given a second chance. Thomas Blanch right there, the guy who invented the bypass surgery. My uncle saved me from the grave. You know, Vincent Hansen saved my life. Vincent Peters, you know, Fimbo Peterson at the top of LDS, they saved my life. They took a chance on me. An unsurvivable disease. Less than 1% AML de novo in my guts. Post-Fukushima. You know, so now they're sending the Fukushima crowd back in. Say, to hell with you. We stole your farms. We polluted. You know, the oceans can collapse. I walked the entire coast. I walked from Mexico to San Francisco in critical condition. I walked the whole thing. I documented all the tide pools. Google it. I documented the USS Reagan trial. I'm the only one there. Google it. It's going to break it open. That's why the decision has been delayed. To get Obama out of there so they can't stagger it. You know how many people they radiated? You know, and it's against GE, TEPCO, and Toshiba. So stay still, so it'll be in Idaho. They've sent the waste now to Colorado to experiment with. There's no answer. They say you've consented in Idaho. Say you've consented in Texas. Whip blew up. The container was made right here. You know, somebody should sit down and, you know, KSL and their pyramid scheme and all these scumbags of blackballing. Go ahead. I restored your 1905 Masonic Temple. I saved you. Hand shielded it right before I got cancer. You wrapped yourself up in the flag. I found this on the floor. Walked over by thousands of people. Yeah, I found it on the floor. You know, I says, how much? I says, oh, you can have it. Okay. You know, stand tuned. I'm 7th generation here. I'm old school Utah, Ogden, Utah as you get. You don't get more old school. I could write 50 books. I'm the walking, talking historian. Check out my bloodlines on all of it. The man at Old Town, my great-grandpa, you know, the communist here who saved the Mormon church, who found the gold, he'd be rolling over in his grave right now. And all you freaking Utahs and you Masonic freaking Mormon freaking scam, oh, I'm on to you. And Anonymous and my group, we're going to expose this criminal. You already stole the money illegally. $328 million they robbed from the taxpayer already on this NuScale. It's a piglet. It's a baby dead piglet. There's no answer for the waste. None. It's economically a catastrophe. Solar and wind took the field a long time ago. It's just nothing but a control mechanism to loot billions and billions through the taxpayer federal. Now they're going to the state houses in Ohio. They're going to the state houses in New York. They already robbed it, the Cuomo tax. Bailout on chemo. You know, 9 Mile Island goes broke. Exelon steps in. Here's $7.6 billion. They did it in Illinois. 5 lobbyists for everyone. Bechtel settles out of court. You know, $128 million at Hanford. They hired lobbyists to fight against us. Grassrooters who are doing this with no money. You derelicts, marine biologists who are paid to do this in marine, you're derelicts. You're derelicts, and you're all going to get sued. And my anonymous crowd and my million mass crowd underestimate us at your own peril. See you in the Utah State House, Idaho State House, this America Ground Zero, right here, right now. We're going to expose you rats. You want to keep this freaking murder lie? Go ahead. Go ahead. We're watching. We're watching. I represent all the leukemia victims, all of them that you've murdered. You murdered, including my father, Mike Lee's father, freaking Governor Herbert's father, all of your fathers, and your moms. The men and women that have been murdered by this nuclear lie. I represent them. Take me on. Go ahead, at your own peril. Stand